Hello, Fort McMurray. My name is Paddy Siren. I'm doing this video about mental health awareness from the Fort McMurray wildfire last year. I want to start off firstly sincerely apologising to everyone I was really rude to, especially in the jail. I was out of order in the jail big time, and planning in a mayor's office and places like that as well. This isn't something I find easy to talk about, but people like Jay Talladega or whatever his name is, I forget his proper name, but they're speaking out about mental health issues. So I figured I'd do the same. I do sincerely care about the people that went through what we went through last year. It's 10% of us that had our houses burnt down. It had an awful effect on me. I'm still kind of getting over it a little bit, to be honest with you, and doing much better than I was before. I've had some crazy times. I'm probably lucky to be alive. Very lucky actually. I think a few incidences where it's pretty close, touch and go, unfortunately. I did 8 days in a nut house as well. There's some very, very funny things I have to tell you about on that. Just because one thing Fort McMurray always gave me was a bloody good laugh. So I'll try and get onto that in a minute. I just want to introduce myself, apologise. I got admitted to a psychiatric unit. I went to hospital. I was actually having a manic day. Went to see a shrink. Thought she was a waste of time, to be honest with you. I'm kind of hot and cold with them. I won't take any of their pills. I kind of joked and I said I smoke my own. Don't bother smoking anything anymore except for cigarettes. Living a much healthier lifestyle. I'm a big believer in going to the gym and working out. That's really helped me in running and stuff like that. That has been a really big help. I strongly suggest, if you have mental health issues like I have, I clearly have, all sorts of different diagnoses, bipolar, psychotic, this, that or the other, they can't seem to make up their mind what I haven't even told them half of it, to be honest with you. But yeah, much better. Don't lose my mind as easily. Little things can trigger me, but it doesn't really happen anymore. I'm way calmer, which is great. Moving on with my life. I was fortunate as I'm European, so I'm able to get out of there. I'm Irish, so I'm able to live in a lot of different countries, a lot of different options. Maybe you're probably not as fortunate as me in that sense. Yeah, so this isn't easy to talk about. I was actually in here last night with a bottle of whiskey and me. Fell asleep on that pitch there. Fella woke me up. I lost my other phone. It took me a bottle of whiskey. I still couldn't make it. So I'm manning up now and I'm going to talk about it. Try and tell you a few funny stories as well. I'm very into Chinese astrology. Some of you that know me, those that know me, know all about it. So I was made friends with a man born in the Chinese year, the Ox. He's a shovel mechanic, I won't say for which oil field company. He was quite hilarious. We had some great times with him, and he told me he was telling me how he blew his face up with a diesel fixing a diesel heater. He blew the face off himself, and he was really reminding me of this other ox I know, an Irish ox I know, new in the States, real crazy one. And so when he said you wouldn't believe what happened next, I said I know what happened next. Real early one morning, drinking our coffee in the nut house, and I said I know what happened next, and I started laughing. I said, you did it again, didn't you? And we all started laughing. He said, how did you know? And I said, I know because you remind me. And he really did remind me of this other ox. I won't mention his name either. Crazy fellas don't like having their name mentioned. They're not all like me. But yeah, there's the story of the fella down in Kentucky. He was running a bar in Kentucky, a friend of mine, and bartender years later, an American lady told me about what he did. That he's a real bad-tempered man, and he was putting up a painting, and he was nailing the painting to the wall, the hanger or whatever, and he couldn't do it because he had to hold it, so he got Kathy to swing the hammer. And he's rude, he's ignorant. He said, will you fucking hit the nail? You hit the fucking nail. So she said she got mad and she hit the nail, and she missed the nail and broke his finger. What did the Irish crazy ox do? He put out his hand, the same thing, started giving her dogs abuse. She broke the other finger. So 2 broken hands, 2 broken fingers on either side, just like the ox. I'm mad into Chinese astrology. I can pick people out a mile away. Sometimes really obvious what they are. For example, at the moment I work for a piggy with a bad back, and I've done that years ago as well. I said, one piggy, one look at this guy, I knew he was going to be nuts. But I kind of enjoy it, even though I'm going to go up north out of this spot here. It's I don't like this rain. As you can see, it's a rainy winter. I'd rather a frozen cold winter, so I'm going up north. And yeah, that's one of the, like, you know, I mean, some of the brilliant laugh, like the whole that morning. Everyone was coming to me. I sort of had an RP McMurray effect. What year am I born and what year am I born? I was really doing the staff's head in there. I was driving them a bit cracked, I think. You know, one of the nurses was getting really stressed out. I was kind of enjoying that. But yeah, it's the oxes, they have a lot in common. Another day with the ox. He was going bombing the place, taking over the world. He was going to send in some F-18s to knock out, what's the name of that hospital? Elizabeth Hospital, or whatever, the one down in Kingsway in Edmonton. That's where we're in there, locked up on the 6th floor, 16 others, load of staff. Anyways, he was going to send in all these jets, and I said, why would you do that? I was kind of, you know, talking to him, just yapping away. He was great company, you know, shovel mechanic. Learned a lot off him too. He was very handy to talk to. And he said, I rule the world and whatever, you know. He was kind of on one, you know, as you be when you're in a nut house. But watching here, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, he basically, I said, can I take over Alberta? He got all serious. I mean, if you rule the world, I was kind of mad as well, you know. I was a bit upset over the fire and all that. I said, I'll run Alberta. You Canadians haven't got a fucking clue what you're doing or whatever, you know. He said, are you fucking kidding me? He said, I can't put Alberta's an important place. I can't put an Irishman in charge of Alberta. So I kind of got a little bit mad, but I held my cool. And I said, what about Fort McMurray? He said, Fort McMurray's fucked, you can take care of that. So we signed the contract. I said I want 130 grand a year, same as the mayor. He gave me the contract. I think he told me 250 grand a year. Told me to get a decent pair of boots, not the faggoty runners I was wearing. To get a pair of cowboy boots and 40 trailers. I was going buying a trailer. Thought I needed a trailer. Really good man. Lent me one to remove away the debris of my home, he was a saint. The man's a saint, God bless him. But anyways, that's just one of the funny stories. The Scottish nurse then as well. They were, when I first went in there, the only reason, if you want to avoid these places, something I learned, don't ever say you want to kill anybody or yourself. I never wanted to kill myself, but I never wanted to kill anyone really. But when the doctor asked me when I was in there, I was trying to get a weed license so I thought I'd be able to legally work in the oil sands. I was going to move up there. I didn't want to move back up there. I wanted to rebuild my home. I was really trying, but all the red tape just have to laugh at it now, but it upset me. I walked away. I had to walk away. I tried to honour everything, but I couldn't. And yeah, so when I was first admitted, there was a Scottish nurse there, and nurse's aide. She said they were going to cart me off to a real serious place because I said I want to kill someone, whatever. You know, don't ever tell a judge or a doctor they can get you locked up for 31 days and go on and on. I was fairly clever in the sense I knew I could have been in there a long time if I got aggressive. But I was kind of letting the security guards know at the same time, because it was a little bit manic, that I'd take them. I'm very fast and I could take them out, and, you know, nicely. I wasn't being aggressive. I was just saying, like, you're not much, lads. I'll take care of you if I wanted. And the Scottish nurse saved the day, really. She was, he's Irish. They're all a bit like that, don't worry, you know. She saved my ass. They brought in this big, huge fella then as well, so it burst my bubble. You want to see the size of him? He looked like he ate a couple of 20 kilo bags of 10-10-20 for his breakfast, pulled him out of a field down in fucking Saskatchewan somewhere, and the fucking flies around the tail on his arse. He was huge. So that burst my bubble. I was singing away anyways. I thought I was going to get out if I started singing. In the emergency department. I wondered later then when I was leaving why they called me so familiar. With the penny sort of dropped, they said I was being over familiar. You know, no need to be singing when you're in there. So when I got onto the ward, the first thing I did, so where are the newfies? So I'm only here because I talk fast. I'm Irish, I talk fast. So I thought it was. I literally did think that way, but it wasn't the case. I did deserve to be there. I was being nutty, I was being fruity, I was being a fruitcake. So you get what you deserve, I guess. And yeah, that's a little bit. I've got Yeah, a lot of other little funny bits and pieces, and apologies as well. I could probably go through a lot of apologies. It's funny how I ended up in jail, an illegal Newfie taxi driver. I told him to fuck off earlier because he kind of came out in front of me, and the cops were kind of taking my bottle of bourbon off me, well, whatever, they had to do their job. But they were taking the bourbon off me. They saw me going home with a bottle of bourbon. I was kind of a bit warm after I was in court that day, and realised that the man who put me in court was telling lies to constable crime, and I was a little bit ticked about that. And yeah, so there you go, buddy. Yeah, there we go. I ended up in jail, but the good thing about being in jail that one night was I fixed my foot. But I do apologise to the ladies in there. It was obscene. So the other boys getting breakfast, and I wasn't getting any, and didn't really get to sleep that well, and I sobered up after singing all them songs and whatever, you know. These are things that happened, and you know, I would have been really ashamed of that before, but you know, that's something I say to all you guys that are suffering, that are hurting. Don't feel ashamed. There are brighter days. Every cloud does have silver lining. There's been a lot of silver linings for me along the way. You know, a lot, it really has. I regained my fitness. Even though I'm just about to light a smoke, I can still run like 20-30 kilometres awful fast. I used to run up a mountain every day in Spain there for 6 months like a lunatic. I used to run about 30 kilometres a day, some days 40, whatever. I didn't realise how much I was running, but even after hard days pouring concrete or whatever I'm doing now, forming concrete, pouring steel, all that crack, I can still go to the gym for a couple of hours, go in there tired. I strongly recommend people do that. You think you have no energy, you'll be surprised the energy you have when you get into it, and you can put that pain to use. What happened is awful. You know, it really hurt what happened. Not just me. I know it. I remember seeing that young kid. I reluctantly stayed, and I was camping in a tent. I didn't want to take help off anyone. Part of my condition, one of the reasons they let me out of the nut house early was I agreed to take Red Cross help. I was probably winding them up as well. All the staff were kind of coming to me, asking me about Chinese astrology, and I was telling them not to take pills and all that. So it's probably been a bit of a nuisance. So they let me go, and which is good. I didn't want to be there. I was all manic. I was going to get a $15,000 fine for not having my foundations pulled out in time. I should never have gone near them foundations. Building a house would be fine, it would have felt good, but sifting through your own ash was just a bit painful. It took me way longer than it should have as well. Just half the time roaring at everyone going by, or helicopters and things like that, or just crying, upset and all demented and singing and fucking crazy basically. But I survived. One of the saddest things, I find it genuinely sad that people want to kill themselves, to have those thoughts. Killing other people, I can understand wanting to, temporarily, you know. But if you really do feel like you need to kill someone else, you know, or kill yourself, those people, even though I'm kind of crazy about them, Dr. Aldanashi, some good laughs as well. He reminded me of my brother, my older brother, my older brother now and I were kind of a little bit different. Back in 2006 he was there the day my hemorrhoid came, and it's no bloody surprise, you know. I love him, but he's annoying. This is about to run out. I'll start another one. Tell you about Dr. Drew, the funny things he was saying.